The feds would probably, NCIS or whatever they want to call it, would probably count on it.
I was privileged to be fire chief out of Warrenton, and I could swear that if we ever had a captain come out there and scream attention on deck, half the station would stand up. Jim's right.
Salute when it all for everybody. But you know what? You just may do it. Don't throw that away. We'll make something out of
It
it.
used to amaze me, you go into a volunteer fire department, and back years ago, and they did all back, use pipe threads, and then the conventional fire departments were using national standard fire threads, and you'd see all these crazy adapters welded together so they could use the neighbor nozzles and all.
Whatever would work, right? Whatever. JD, you have any more? You're the EMA director, so you've got a pretty laborsome task within yourself. So
I appreciate the invitation this morning to come out and listen to all this. This has been a privilege for me to hear the past and the present. So it's an eye-opener, and hopefully we'll continue through the future.
I'm Bill Paulson, I'm the lane commander. I joined back in 1996 when we were over in the old building over in Inslee, and compared to that place, this place is a palace.
yeah, that's great.
Good. Donnell Sheffield, I'm with Lane Command. Yeah, I remember the old building. I heard to help move them from the old building over here, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's come a long way. We met in the old medical facility, the nursing home across from the jail, and needless to say, if you've ever been in the old nursing homes, we were real glad to take a break. The aroma was pretty stifling, but you know what? It was a roof over our head to amass the folks to get together and to plan and to talk. So y'all come. This is phenomenal here.
The new jail is there down.
Yeah.
Well, that jailhouse, the Escambia County Jail.
See how?
Y'all don't want me to do this? Well, I got in 78 or 79. I was in land then, and then I got out, done my little career as truck driver, and I come back about probably 3 years ago. And back when I got in, we was meeting down behind Town Country Plaza in the office complex, back in the night.
People stood in the parking lot because all couldn't get in the building.
Is that right?
The whole room wasn't even half the size. I don't think it wasn't as big as this.
The whole building wasn't that big.
It wasn't that big at all.
This is the airplane.
My name is Cindy Leonard. I've been in the unit 2 years now. I joined from listening to the stories of my husband Howard talking, and it got me interested. Plus, I wanted to help my fellow man. So, what better way than to join Search and Rescue?
Yeah, one more time.
Somebody write that down.
You must ask yourself, what was the most that you went on a dive on the persons that drowned? We had 5 at Navy Point to drown at one time, and it happened, it was blacks that had come down from Atlanta somewhere.
No, this is, the one that came down from Atlanta was in a boat in the bay.
Oh, yeah.
But those 5 was, 2 kids were on a raft.
Yeah.
Floating raft, and the raft got blown off and they got in deep water.
Right.
And then their parents went to get them, and 3 kids and 2 adults drowned.
We had another one off the Bay Bridge that had 6 in them because one was stuck up under the hood of the car when we found the car. And Raymond wanted to know what he was doing changing the spark plugs there. We come up, and there was 6 of them in that car. It went off the Bay Bridge. All 6 of them was in there.
One of us changed the spark plug.
Well, you can look at this. You can look at the
This
record.
actually had out at Navy Point, had 5 of them.
You can look at the record, if there is such a record, of all that's transpired here, being on the Gulf Coast, all that you've been involved in a party to. But I think it would stagger the imagination of all the hours spent, what you did, the creativity and the things that you just did, and even today. I mean, so it's no less thoughtful today than it was, back then.
We could get public support, maybe 1 or 2 people. We had one at 3 o'clock in the morning that jumped off the Bay Bridge, and we couldn't find him. We dove all over that place, and one of his relatives was up there, and he said he went right here. And he said, Bud said, "Are you sure we was in the water?" And he said, "Why don't you come down here and help us?" No, he was right on down. I promise you, he was right there. So we went down, and there he was, just like this. And the boy didn't want to help, but we had public support then, he wanted to
Yeah,
help.
I remember many times at rescues, people would come from far and wide and line up the roads just to, what, are you on the rescue squad? No, but whatever you need, I'm here. Can I do something? I mean, it was again, and I think the catalyst was the initial effort and the outpouring of the humanity side of Escambia County and the people coming in response. You know, it's really been phenomenal. And I know today you're struggling with regulations and, you know, the funding and all the other stuff. Please appreciate the fact we didn't have any of that. We just got it done, you know.
That hasn't changed much at all, and I'm happy to say. We had a mission maybe 2 years ago that lasted about 11 days. The gentleman went missing in the bay on a jet ski. And we found him on the 11th day. Search and rescue searched every day, with the exception of, I think, half an afternoon when the storms rolled in so bad you couldn't see. But we were out there, boat, land, everybody was out there every day for 11 straight days, and we found the guy. He must have been, you know, a couple miles out into the bay. He'd sunk with work boots on, jeans and everything, riding jet ski, and we found him. But I remember deputizing, I think, probably 3 people, community members who were out there just helping search. The guy had been missing, they wanted to help. Well, they eventually ended up joining and becoming good members of the team, but they were just people who wanted to help.
I forget, it was probably 6 or 8 years ago. 3 kids from one family drowned in the Escambia River up behind the Exxon plant in Jay. We went up there on like a Friday evening or Saturday evening and searched into the night, and the alligators got so bad that divers that we had up there had to get out of the water. So at daylight, I don't know to this day who called or put the word out, but we had enough divers at daylight that we literally let them hold hands and lined all the way across the river and just started walking down the river. And within less than an hour, we had all 3 kids recovered, you know. And I don't know the names of all the divers and everything, but you know, it's just a community support.
Joe, I want to tell y'all there's one person that's not with us. She's here with us in spirit, but there's always been a director of the Escambia Search and Rescue, but this was supreme commander, and her name was Dottie McDonald. And if you needed something, or you needed, it didn't have to be a diver, you just needed, you know, something done at Gulf Power, you called her. You were talking about pull now. You didn't go to the top. You went straight to the supreme beam.
She was my commander.
She's the only thing that can control buzz, so I mean, that was a pretty arduous task.
Yeah, and along those lines, you know, we hadn't been in this building but maybe a year or so, and Don Bullock come up from, you know, he got transferred down to Tampa, come up and sat and went all over the building looking around. And you know, he was the director for 9 years prior to me taking over, and looked everything over, and he just kept on. And when he got ready to leave, he said, you know, I have only one regret, and I'm not a young man that could come back and join this group and go for another round. And you know, unfortunately, less than a year later, cancer took him. You know, so.
If I may, let me conclude with just this one lesson learned, and it's never more evident than it is today in Escambia Search and Rescue learned. You had all this mass of people wanting to participate, and we became so proficient that we didn't call them, and they began to fall by the wayside. And I think that's a lesson to learn for any organization or volunteers today. People join because they want to be needed. They need to be needed. And if you say, we're going to have a boat raising over here Saturday, they probably won't come, but if they get a personal phone call and say, hey Andy, we're going to have a boat raising over at the, wherever it is, Saturday, would you come help us? I'll be there, you know. And again, where it used to take weeks, days and weeks to recover, you know, a victim or to find someone, got so proficient that a small catalyst group